We're live. We are live. We are live. Episode number 3. The Mr. Josh podcast. TMJP. Mr. Josh podcast. You are listening. We are at the Space Coast Podcast Studios in sunny Florida. And Jesse behind the ones and twos and the knobs and the switches. And I think if you've listened to this podcast so far, you've gotten an introduction to a little bit of my past. And then in the second episode, you got to hear a lot about my background in the strip club industry, I guess majoritively, and what happened in that business and in Panama. And that episode was the Confessions of a Strip Club DJ. So I think episode 3 I'm going to call Time to Rant. I'm going to get opinionated. I'm going to pretty much start to explain why I think the way I do, and hopefully it'll just all flow together because there's really going to be no rhyme or reason for this. What is this, bourbon? What are we drinking? Mm-hmm. Bourbon, Kentucky bourbon. For my daughter, I moved to Kentucky. Fuck. Awful. What a pussy, right? Woof. All right. So, let's jump in real quick here. Some of my influences. Here's one thing about me. I'm a sponge. I'm a pop culture junkie. I was a sports junkie, politics junkie, current events junkie. What else? Everything. From an early age, I there was a lot of stimulus. As a child of the 80s, being born in 1975 and being a child of the 80s, I got to really see technological growth and so many different forms of stimulus. And I'm going to get into that, but some of my influences in the way I think, a lot came from Alex Jones. Now, yeah, Alex Jones. Alex Jones, who I probably listened to for 15, 20 years. For all the mania, for all the craziness, for the whole takedown, for all the bullshit. Alex Jones is accurate. If even he's accurate on 50% of what he talks about, that's a problem. That's half right. So there's a problem there. I mean, the things he's uncovered, there's a problem there. This guy's been talking about shit spying on you since he was opening up the Scientific Atlanta converter boxes that we all had when we had cable when we first got it. On cable access TV, when you were reading fucking comic books, this guy was on TV letting you know some shit. And now we see they spy on everything you fucking do. But this guy's full of shit, right? This guy don't know what he's talking about. George Carlin was a big influence of mine. George Carlin is as smart as any comedian when he talks about the dissemination of words, the disseminating of how people are so worried and everything has to be made so safe and sanitary. You can't protect everything. It's fucking Darwinism. All these people on the left that are so scientific about climate change, why aren't you scientific about Darwinism? Why are you not understanding that it is a survival of the fittest world? We're still animals. You can't protect everything. You can't safeguard everything. You can't sanitize everything. And he talked a lot about that. That rang true to me. When I'm 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm looking at George Carlin. Other kids are still watching fucking Snorks. So my influences were different. I grew up a Democrat. I fancied myself as a liberal. I lived in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Brooklyn and Manhattan my whole life. I've lived in 2 huge cities, bastions of liberalism, okay? From Wilton Manors to fucking Greenwich Village, man. I know the gay scene, the tranny scene, the straight scene, black folks, Spanish folks, white folks, everything in those 2 cities. You cannot avoid being exposed to everything. So nobody has to question my liberal card or what I've been exposed to. There's no narrow-mindedness. born Jewish, minority in that regard, hated minority, most hated in the world, still hold that fucking title. I don't care what anybody says. The darling Muslims. Jews are the most hated people in the world. Still, to this day. The evil, wicked Jew. And so no one has to play my identity card. And now I'm the white male. The dreaded white male. The problem with everything centers around the white male. Other influences, Ron Paul. So why I bring up liberal is I always lean Democrat. I drank the Kool-Aid. Jesse, I drank the Kool-Aid. Republicans typically, so here's how you split it. Republicans were for the rich man and the Christian man, period. That's how you identify Republican. Conservative, military. Democrat, women, Jews, Spanish people, black people, gay people, transgender people. Everybody else was a Democrat. The free thinker, the book reader, the sandal wearer, the tree hugger. That made up Democrats. It's like a fist of fingers, and it makes up one group. None of them fucking care about each other, by the way. Everyone with a self-interest, as they pretend to care about each other now. Intersectionality, look it up. So I was Democrat, and all that time, I drank the Kool-Aid. And then George Bush came around, and we had 9/11, and that was a real eye-opener. And if you're a conspiracy theorist and you're of somewhat of a younger age in any way, shape, or form, if you're not very old, 9/11 is what set you off. 9/11 was the tipping point to where you're like, what the fuck is going on here? How did they pull that off here? We've never had a fucking war in the United States ever other than the one with each other, the Civil War. There's never a war here on our soil. I think I'm right about that. I think I'm right. But you can pull that off? With all the surveillance, all the technology, they're looking at your plane tickets, they're looking at everything. They pulled that off. Okay, wonderful. All right, so let's say you believe that. I didn't. 9/11 was a tipping point for me. And that, after then, George Bush was the president. Oh, the Republicans, okay. Well, that's a problem. It was that point that I got into Ron Paul. Ron Paul was the presidential candidate that rang most with me. I'm not even a libertarian. I just thought this guy was the most logical, sensible person that wasn't a piece of shit from either side. That if you just looked at it objectively and you weren't a home run or a homer Democrat or Republican and you have to be party affiliated and that's where your alliances are, that's where I went. So Ron Paul's an influence. George Orwell's an influence. William Cooper, read Behold a Pale Horse. Throw all the UFO shit aside, throw everything else aside. Read Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. First chapter of the book, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. He didn't write one part of that. It is a reproduction from an IBM surplus computer. What an amazing story. Probably a Bilderberg pamphlet, and he got hold of it. He's a naval intelligence officer, and he's dead. They tried to kill him several times. Very interesting figure, just like Jordan Maxwell. They're around the same age. I think they're in that same kind of that book. Jordan Maxwell will blow your fucking mind, dude. Freemason shit, Illuminati shit. That shit's real. Secret societies existed from the beginning of time. What do you think? You think they want to play with the fucking plebes and the serfs and the fucking bottom dwellers? People of influence hang around with people of influence. You don't understand that because you're not in it. You don't know from it. And you never will. Enjoy your fucking Chipotle. That's as good as it's going to get. Michael Moore was another influence. Let me tell you about Michael Moore. So people don't understand this because they just look at him as, oh, he's the big fat liberal, this and that. Michael Moore was never political when he first started. Michael Moore was a man of the people. He took companies to task. You ever notice Michael Moore don't talk about companies anymore? Because Michael Moore doesn't give a shit. He's a political shill. He went another way. And that happened with his Columbine, Fahrenheit 9/11. Fahrenheit 9/11 is when he went very political against Bush, and I'm like, wow, I'm feeling this, man. Yeah, there's some shit to this. I get it. There's something wrong here. And then Obama came, and all of a sudden he had nothing wrong with that party. He had nothing wrong with Times during Obama. Well, wait a second. So just one side is all politically wrong? One side is where all the evil's coming from? Only one side is running game on everybody? What are you, fucking stupid? No. It's both sides. It's both sides. So I started picking up on all of this. I was getting tired of being lied to. Michael Moore was very good. He would tell you why. Look, everyone's lying to you. Look at all these consumers getting over on you. I watched John Stossel on 2020 go and call these people out. Why is everyone a fucking liar? Why is everything you do steeped in lies? Why do you have to cover for the bad guys? How about this? How about, do you know that in insurance companies, all those premiums you pay, you're paying for all the people that are frauding. You're paying for all the people getting over, just so you know that. Your premium is higher. You don't know how much higher, but you're covering the losses. The bad apples do spoil the bunch. The bad apples do spoil the bunch. You were taught that as a kid. They lied to you. They lied to you. When you're at a store, retail, you're paying for that theft. You pay for when them carts are stolen. You think that's fair? You're paying an insurance policy on their shit. So that started pissing me off. The more I learned about that bothered me. And how come nobody told me that? Why did I have to learn it the way I did? Why is everything a lie? Let alone politicians. Why do people watch these politicians now, especially during this whole time, and be so trustworthy of things they're saying when you know these people are liars? Like, it's a cliche, like, hell yeah, they're just doing everything they can to get reelected. Well, if you fucking know that, or get elected, they're trying to be president, if you know they're fucking lying to get in, why is everyone so rah-rah about all their shit? Why are there 22 or 24 Democratic candidates if any of these are really that good? Don't you think that people would kind of bow out? This isn't the NFL where all 32 teams have to play. These are people making choices. You don't have to get into this. What a bunch of losers. How does Eric Swalwell campaign at 0% approval rating? And they're talking about Trump's approval rating, how low. Oh, this guy's at fucking 0%. Nobody finds that funny that he's still in this race? Or any of the others? Seth Moulton, Delaney. Who the fuck are these people? Because you're an idiot. And you'll gladly listen to all of their viewpoints. Enjoy that first debate, by the way, when you have 24 or 20 assholes up there. Okay? Who will get 2 minutes each. I watched them give Ron Paul 2 minutes in those debates. And they laughed at him. You can't get any opinion out. You can't make a point when 20 people have to make points. And now you're not going to know where anyone stands. You're going to hear what they think about one fucking topic. Well, talk about abortion. You'll get to know about that. Then what are you going to make your mind from there? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. These 24 candidates. And then Joe Biden jumps in. He waits. All these people, media, they love Buttigieg. They love Warren. The media is doing their thing, the whole thing. Meanwhile, one guy jumps in, the one that name everyone knows because he was Obama's boy, whoop-de-fucking-do. And then he puts on Twitter that friendship bracelet. It was National Friendship Day. He puts the Joe and Barack fucking friendship bracelet they had. You're a grown man, you fucking idiot. With your friendship bracelet with Barack. So cute. You're fucking 70 years old. I'd love to look on his wrist and see if he wears the bracelet. Does anyone notice that when they see him massaging a little girl's hair? Does he wear his fucking bracelet? Oh, and by the way, go look at the bracelet with a nice little pizza trinket on it. Isn't that funny? Oh, because he loves pizza that much, right? Give me a break. Fucking pizza trinket like it's a Pandora bracelet. Fucking joke. So, I'll tell you now. So, other influences? I have some modern day influences. Yeah. Paul Joseph Watson, Tim Pool, Milo Yiannopoulos, Sargon of Akkad, Steven Crowder, Gavin McInnes, Laura Loomer, who starts a ton of shit, James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, busting motherfuckers. We used to watch Dateline in 2020 and all these shows back in the day when they busted people. They used to go into the mechanic. We're gonna watch them not change the part. We marked it with a marker. We marked you with a marker. Watch, they're gonna charge us $600, not charge us. And we loved it. It was undercover, and they busted the mechanic. Hey, why'd you rip us off? James O'Keefe does that with an abortion clinic, and they said it's fucking doctoring the film. That he's a liar. Doctoring the film? The stupid bitch is on there talking about the Ferrari she bought with all the money, you fucking idiots. What, are you stupid? Go watch the video. How do you doctor someone saying that? Besides all the other things they bragged about in the other 20 minutes and how they're laughing. It's so decadent and funny. Fetuses. I don't care if you're pro-abortion or not. How does that not turn you off? I've seen people get sick over looking at a car accident. How does that not make you sick? Smelling someone's fart makes you gag. How does this not make you fucking sick? Because you're a fucking devil. That's why. Because the same people that sacrifice babies, oh yeah, that's real, folks. That's real. Satanism's real. Everyone's so Satan proud. Put a Baphomet. Everyone with a Baphomet shirt. Everybody with their freedom of religion. So the Satanists want to be able to post things all over and put up signs. What do you think they fucking do? Go look up the life force of blood. Ties right in with stem cells. Go look up what blood does. Why people drink it. The whole vampire myth. That shit's real. There's modern day vampires. People drink blood. The same way you fucking drink Four Locos. You fucking loser. Someone's drinking blood. Just so you know. Just it's not in a can in a fucking Cumberland. So, as a child of the 80s, right, on a happier note, there's no happy here. I'm just going to go full rant. Where's that bottle? Let's get a little more going. Let's get a little more of that. Should we give a promotion to this? I mean, might as well, right? Or no? Keep it open? Perfect. Thank you, sir. Cheers. So, listen, I was born in the 70s. I'm a child of the 80s. So one of the best things about being a child of the 80s is that I watched the technological. Let's talk about technology. Let's talk about how that's about to affect everything. Or about to. It already has, but how much further it's going to go. Let's talk about child of the 80s. I watched everything change. I watched the rotary phone. I live for the rotary phone. I live for paying for long distance. Who are you on the phone with? I'm talking to Aunt Kelly. Whoa, hang up. Oh, that's $1 a minute. Hang up. How long you been on? Yeah, remember those days? Fucking $1 a minute. I remember the TV when it had 3 channels. Oh my God, how did you survive? And you had to get up and change them? Click, 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 click. Yeah, you're damn right you did. Your fucking dad made you. You were the remote control when you were a kid. That's a cliche. 3 channels, ABC, CBS, NBC. By the way, those are your big networks. That's why they have so much clout. Clout. Everyone talking about clout. Fuck hip-hop with clout. Real clout. ABC, NBC, CBS. They determine everything you watched. 3 networks ran everything on TV. That's all you had. So I watched it change. I had cable when cable first came out. Boy, I sponged it up. My father was drunk, fell asleep. I come home, I'm watching cable all night till I fell asleep. Whatever. Cinemax, nudity, MTV, HBO, whatever. I soaked it all up. And in the 80s, we started to see that was the decadence of it all. You had cable. Now the TV is getting better. Now you have a VCR. You can watch a movie. Hey, guess what? You didn't get to see that at the movies. Guess what? You're not shit out of luck. It's going to come out on video 3 months from now, 4 months from now. Pretty cool, huh? You're going to get to see that movie in your own house, eating ice cream on your fucking couch. What a novel concept. Watch that. But you know what else happened in the 80s? Oh, let's talk about video games. Video games. Stand-up video games. I mean, talk about Q*bert and Pac-Man and Space Invaders and Miss Pac-Man and Galaga and fucking Zaxxon and Galaxia and holy shit, stand-up video games. There was nothing better than popping those quarters. Donkey Kong. Are you fucking kidding me? If you're a Nintendo fan, Donkey Kong? Listen, you could get a hard-on. You could get a boner from Donkey Kong when you're 8 years old, knowing that that was near up your block. That was one of the greatest things in the world were video games. And then they were like, well, then the Atari came out, and it was like, well, I think the Pong, you know, the paddles and paddleboard, bing, boop, 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 boop bullshit. But we played it. But when the Atari came, that was the big thing. I lived all that. I had the Atari. I had the ColecoVision. I had the Intellivision. And then eventually the Nintendo, and then it all blew up, there. But in the 80s, Nintendo I think was by the 90s. But in the 80s, that was the video games, VCRs, cell phones, car phone, cordless phone. It was a blow up of time. But you know what also happened in the 80s? It was the beginning of the end, folks. It was the beginning of the end. We were wholesome in the 50s. We got a little less wholesome in the 60s. We started getting angry in the 70s. War. Right on that cusp of 60s and 70s, Vietnam. And then by the 80s, the money boom. The corporatocracy begins. Capitalism runs amok. Crony capitalism begins. I tell this to everybody that listens to me talk. Why am I doing this fucking podcast? Because I've told this 100 times to people. More people need to hear it. The corporatocracy begins. What is that? That's when corporations run everything. That's fascism. You've been living in it since the fucking 80s, you dummy. You can blame Reagan, maybe. It was going to happen anyways. Companies got bigger. The population getting bigger. More money, more people, more money. That's not a fucking Biggie Smalls song. That's why there's so much money in India and China and Mexico and Brazil. Places with huge populations. You hit in any of those places, you're going to do just fine. Billion people. So that's where it all begins. The corporatocracy. Everything now gets corporate. Everything. Start buying up, consume. Banks start consuming others. Media companies consuming others. Print media. Everything started to eat each other, bite each other. Sharks. Shark Tank. Where do you think the whole shark thing came from? 80s, there was shark in it. Wall Street. Greed is good. Gordon Gekko. Look it up. It changed everything. Cocaine. That documentary, Billy Corbin, who fucking snuffed, by the way. He schmaved me and Tony. Big thanks, Billy Corbin. Thanks for jerking us around on our movie idea about Panama. Fucking jerked us. Good director, don't get me wrong. I've seen The U, I've seen Limelight, I've seen a ton of this guy. Cocaine Cowboy, Square Grouper. I supported this motherfucker, Miami guy. Lied to us, point blank, period. But that being said, cocaine ruled in the 80s. Why? It's all about that money. The 80s started it all. Everything changed. And that was when you also had where healthcare became a big thing. Oh, I need a job with benefits. The only way you got a job with benefits was if you had a government job. You weren't getting benefits. Fucking 70s. Are you kidding me? Maybe if you were in a high-end situation. But otherwise, you weren't getting benefits. So the 80s was the beginning of the decadence of it all, and that's where it all has slid down ever since. There's been positive things along the way. Roller coasters are fun, but we're sliding down. Crony capitalism. What is that? That's cronyism. What are cronies? Like a buddy. It's a fucking euphemism. Your crony is your pal. Crony capitalism is capitalism run amok. Capitalism on paper is the best thing going, period. But humans are fallible, and they cheat, and they lie, and they steal, and they can be influenced. And they blackmail each other. Why don't you go look up how much all these decisions are done because of blackmail? You want to know how fucking evil it all is? Everyone's got something on everybody. It's leverage. They hold it over you and you do shit or they ruin you. You don't fucking get it? You think this is all honest? You think this is honest? When money and power is at play here? Big money, companies, billions of dollars. You're happy with $2,000. What do you think $1 billion would make you do? There's motherfuckers in the street that kill for $100. Oh, yeah. Maybe not in your neighborhood. They do. What do you think someone do for $1 billion? Crony capitalism. When the government got infected and infiltrated, where the companies bought them off, the lobbyists, by the influence, change the laws. Capitalism comes down to one thing. Make as much money as you can in the bottom line within the realm of law, period. Ethics be damned. Morals be damned. Everything else be damned. It doesn't matter. Stay within the law. Well, then they'll change the law. They'll make friends with the lawmakers so things bounce their way. I saw Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy. Here's a great movie. You want a little primer on how being a congressman works and how it is? This was a perfect little primer. It doesn't matter which fucking side you vote for. You're getting cash from either side. Someone's buying your vote, whether it's yay or nay. And if no one's buying it, you abstain from voting. Oh, did you know that these people don't have to show up and vote? I bet you didn't fucking know that. Go look up your senator's voting record while you go and show up to your fucking job at Starbucks because you have to. Go look up at your senator. They don't have to show up for shit. You're so proud of them, aren't you? You're so rah-rah. I love my senator. I love my party. Joke. Joke. The only people that should be loving you, you should love your family. Nobody loves you. You're lucky if your family loves you. How many friends are going to really do for you when you really need it? You think your friends love you? I've got 788 Facebook friends. Okay. It's easy to like your photo. Are they going to show up with fucking bail money? Your friend? No, they're not. And so let's probably not. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the idol worship of let's talk about the idol worship. Talk about being loved and who you love and who loves you and what loves you or what doesn't love you. So I poured this. I didn't even drink it, right? Smart. You poured it. Excuse me. Woof. It's been a long time coming. Excuse me. Idol worship. I have a strong opinion on this. I was once a sucker for this. I fell for this shit. So see if someone can feel me on this. See if you agree. We here in America, we don't have a royal family. Our royalty is different. Our royalty, by the way, and every other country has this as well. They have their own group of this, but a lot of other countries have a royalty that they also, the people love to bow to. And, oh, I want to know about their baby, the Queen's baby, the Princess of Sussex's baby. What's the name of their baby? You don't go and visit your own fucking nephew. Okay? You're worried about their baby. Idol worship. So while they're destroying religion in the United States, and they are, hello Christians, how's it going? You allowed to have a Santa Claus anymore? While they're destroying religion in this country, oh, and by the way, Jews, yeah, listen, being Jewish in America is funny. Nobody knows. It's like a very fine line. Well, what holidays do we celebrate? People just kind of capitulate. No one even knows what's going on with that. And then Muslims, the darling Muslim, I don't even know if any of their holidays are federal or not. I mean, it's probably a matter of time, but I mean, who knows? But so you still have religion, but they're definitely watering it down in this country. Go look it up. Most atheists and agnostics ever in American history. Most people identify. Usually young people, by the way. Oh, and all those young people, they're so scientific. They're so scientific. I'd love to see what kind of grades they got in science, by the way. We have different idols here. We idol 4 groups. Tell me if you can understand this. Tell me you're smart enough to fucking see this, because this goes right into distractions. I didn't talk enough about silent weapons and quiet wars. Silent weapons and quiet wars is all about the distractions and all about how they're going to run game on you in this country, the powers that be, how they're going to do it through credit, electricity, now with the internet for sure. I mean, this was all about control. This is what governments do. But one of the biggest things I took from that chapter was the distraction method. So they can run game on you. They have to distract you. You have to be looking somewhere else so they can run game on you. This is all street shit, man. This is the real mafia, man. Why don't people fucking get it? This is street shit. Why? Because you wear a tie? Okay, so understand this. You have 4 groups. You have your sports stars, your sports. You have your TV stars, your TV. You have your movie stars, and you have your music stars. This is what we worship in this country. Men typically fall in line with sports. Women typically fall in line with TV. Children typically fall in line with music. And movies is the potluck, which kind of encompasses everybody. Now, we all like all of these things. So someone's going to be, well, wait a second. I like sports. I like music too. We know. I'm talking about the largest demographic group of who idolizes these particular stars. So let's talk about sports. Let's talk about how men are obsessed with sports while game is run on them. Here's something you didn't know, okay? I'm not going to use names. I don't need to use names. I don't need to even fucking prove any of this. You can figure this out for yourself or believe it or not. Here's what you need to know. All of the stars in these genres do not like you. You are a fan. You are a fucking groupie. Do you understand? You are a groupie. Pay for your ticket. Spend your money. That's how they get rich. This is their job. And while you idolize them, this is how they make their money. How do they make their money? You have to spend yours, dummy. You have to spend your money on them and their projects, their games, their jerseys, their bobblehead. I mean, who the fuck pays money for a sports figure's bobblehead? For fuck's sake, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Understand this. These celebrities hate you. They pretend to like you. They have to. It's actually contracted. When you play in the NFL, you have to go do charity for the NFL. You know why they put it in the contract that they have to do it? Do you want to know why? They'll tell us, Josh. Why do they do that? Because they don't want to. Because if it wasn't contractually obligated, they wouldn't fucking do it. Some will. Absolutely. Lightning hits somewhere. Even a broken clock is wrong 2 times in a day, isn't it? They don't want to. They have to. They have to sign autographs. They have to play nice. They have to take pictures with you. They have to let you interrupt their dinner while you talk about, my cousin Kevin loved you. And then you tell them, they loved you in the movie that they weren't even in. You don't even know who the fuck they are. You don't even get it right. You know how many times people go up to these people and get it wrong, Jesse? Oh, they love that, by the way. Their ego loves that. Oh, you're so-and-so. No. Wrong guy. Wrong lady. We worship them. So men worship the sports stars, buy their jerseys. Hey, guess what? Let me stand up here a second here. Guess what? You know how much an NFL authentic jersey costs? Jesse, you know how much a jersey costs? $100. NHL, MLB, whatever. $100. $125, maybe more. A lot of money. So what? So another man can sport another man's name on his back? Isn't that sweet? Peyton Manning rules. Can you imagine being the girlfriend of a guy, and I've seen this a million times. Can you imagine being the girlfriend of a guy who wears another man's name on his back? Wear a nice striped shirt, asshole. Yeah, I know. Fat people are not supposed to wear horizontal stripes. I get it. But it's not a Peyton Manning jersey. It's not an Odell Beckham jersey. TV. Women typically love TV. Soap operas. Perfect example. Soap opera. Soap operas cater to the lowest common denominator ever. Those women were home doing the chores. They wanted an escape. They hated their life. They hated their fucking Ralph Cramden husband. Pow! In the kisser. Pow! To the moon. They wanted an escape. Soap operas are so stupid. I don't think I know anything on TV stupider. And I've seen Small Wonder. Google Small Wonder if you want to know how fucking dumb they think you are. I am Vicky the robot. Fucking sad. I watched it though. Who am I to say, right? I watched it. I was always obsessed with the droid culture. Hashtag droid culture. Movies. Well, we'll skip that. Music. Kids love music. Young kids. We all love music, but kids are the driving force. That's who buys the music, takes it more seriously. They really idolize musical stars. It's always been young kids, younger people. That's just how it is. And then movies is the potluck. We all love movies. We all go to the movies. They are running game on you. My point is this, folks. You're idolizing these people for what? It's all misdirected. I'm not telling you got to idolize God or Jesus. I'm not saying go religious. I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm saying don't idolize these fucking stars, man. When The Fappening came out, I loved it. I loved it. Not because I got to see a load on fucking Kate Upton's back, which, by the way, I did see. Amazing. Justin Verlander, man, what a score. She's from Brevard County, right? What a score. Justin Verlander, what a fucking nerd. Good pitcher. But there's way cooler guys than that. What a score. I saw The Fappening. I thought it was the funniest thing. It's like, so what? All right, good. Busting their shit. So what? Everyone's getting their shit busted into. But you people are interesting. We covet you so much. Yeah, that's how it goes, dude. How it went. How it goes. Let me tell you a funny little anecdote about idol worship. I've told this to Jesse. I love telling this story because when I heard it, I never forgot it. This lets you know how stupid your fellow man is when you're thinking that all of us are so smart and so elevated and so we're so smart, we're so intelligent. We're better than the chimps. Shout out to Joe Rogan and the chimps. Fucking chimp lover. You fucking chimp lover. What's with that? Anyways, chimps are cool. I have no... listen, please don't... Nobody's listening anyways. Don't write me that I'm anti-chimp. Here's the thing. There was a show back in the day called Dallas, and Dallas was a huge nighttime soap opera in the 80s, as big as any show ever. And Dallas had a character on it named J.R. J.R. Ewing. Good old boy. Oil magnate. From Dallas, Texas. Now, JR was played by Larry Hagman, in case you didn't know. You can Google it. And JR, before he was JR, was on I Dream of Jeannie. Sergeant Nelson. Major Nelson? Major Nelson. And Jeannie lived with him. P.S. Jeannie was hot. P.S. They never fucked. There was never real sexual chemistry there. It was so odd. It was so odd. Why? I mean, there was nothing ever sexual or lovey-dovey really between these two. But they lived together. He was essentially, she was his property. It was like this genie out of a lamp. You can do what you want with her. Stuff her back in the fucking lamp if she don't like you, right? No, of course not. Of course not. Anyways, so Larry Hagman does I Dream of Jeannie. So he's an established star. I have to make that be known because it's not like, well, maybe this guy's really an oil magnate that they got for the show. No. He's a star. A-list in TV. So I heard the story how Larry Hagman, a.k.a. J.R. Ewing, got so much hate mail from that show and that character. This is pre-internet, folks. Do you know what that means? That means they had to write the letter. Oh, wait, what? They sat and wrote a letter? Yeah. They wrote the letter to JR. Dear JR, I fucking hate you. You're so mean. You're nasty on that show, Dallas. I wish you would die. I wish someone would kill you on that show because you're just a terrible, evil, oil, greedy pig. Now, that's not my letter. And I've never written or wrote any of the letters or read them, but I can tell you that's how they went. And guess what? They mailed it off and bought a stamp, and they licked that envelope, and they cut their tongue on that envelope. Nice paper cut on your tongue. Don't those feel good? Ugh, I think that's one of the worst things ever. I think I'd rather get shot in the shoulder. They mailed a letter to fucking JR. It would get fucking to CBS. They get the address and they send a letter to JR. Why am I telling you this? Because someone wrote a letter to JR times 1,000 times 10,000. Do you understand that your fellow man, as you listen to this, whether you're wherever you are, look to your left and right, your fellow man wrote a letter to fucking JR on a fictional show with a fictional character hating him. Do you understand the idol worship, how strong it is? Stop doing it. They don't love you. They don't hate you. They don't love you. They detest you. You're a cockroach. It's not all of them. It's most of them. Why would you go on a Tuesday night, speaking of sports stars, another story, Tuesday night, you're going to see the basketball game in your town. The two teams playing are both 33 and, 26 and 42. Season's almost over. They could give a shit. You spent $500 on tickets, parking, food, maybe $700, jerseys, pennants, pretzels, churros, a beer, parking. You're balling, man. You took them to a Tuesday night basketball game, man. Awesome. Guess what? You went to a game that neither team gives a shit about. They're playing it to get a paycheck. They're thinking the entire time about what nightclub they're going to go to and what groupies they're fucking that night. Bet me on it. Somebody please debate me on this. You spent that much money for nothing. I hope you enjoyed yourself. While the people there didn't even give a shit that played, but you wear it on your sleeve. Sports fans are funny. It's like politics. And we're going to jump on this subject. Let me let you know this right now. Maybe we got a break coming up. Let me let you know this. Sports and politics are identical. My side rules, your team sucks. They're running game on you. That's why they keep it as a two-party system, you fucking dummy. It's a scam on you. 2 teams, 2 parties. My team rules, your team sucks. They want you to hate each other. You know what those players are doing after the game? They're hanging out. They went to the same colleges. They were in the same fraternities. They fucked the same groupies. Oh, yeah. Surprise! They know each other. They're friends. A lot of them from the same neighborhoods. You think the Eagles really hate the Cowboys? You think the Dolphins really hate the Patriots? You want to hear how much they hate them? Guess who your new Dolphins coach is? A former Patriots coach, you fucking idiot. Stop with the sports worship and these players. Oh my God, we have so much more. We have so much more. It gets worse.
You're listening to Space Coast Podcast, home of the greatest podcasts on the Space Coast. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or having your own show, email us at spacecoastpodcast@hotmail.com. Space Coast Podcast. Talk hard!
Hey, make sure you check out Space Cowboy Justice with your hosts, Blake Stewart and Paul Daly. We're going to be talking about interesting legal issues in the entertainment industry and everything geek. If you're into Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, comic books, we're talking about it. Coming at you from the Space Coast Podcast Studios.
All right. We're back. We're back. One of the things that also happened in the 80s, put these shades back on. I have blue eyes, but I prefer my shades. Sponsored by Ray-Ban. Not sponsored by, strike that. I wear Ray-Bans. Stolen out of my car. Had to buy another pair. Okay. Whoever stole them, I hope you fucking enjoyed them. Probably didn't even wear them. I'm certain you didn't wear them. You sold them. Because whoever would steal those out of a car probably wears Varnays still. I shouldn't say that. That's a surf brand. They don't steal. Gazelles. Gazelles. You know, one of the other things that happened in the 80s that was a part of this plan, you know, I think I told Jesse this even. And I told my daughter this, and I tell this to anybody that'll listen to me, and it's not the what that's what's going on here. It's the why. You know, when you got into journalism, the thing they teach you is the who, what, where, when, why, how, question. You know, that's how you get to the heart of the matter, the meat and potatoes of the story. You got to ask all those relevant questions that you learn in language arts. But the most important one is the why. Who? You can figure that out just from looking at a picture sometimes. You don't need any help with that. Where? Same thing. Paris, France. Shout out to Paris, France. Way to go, guys. Your city's doing great. Ugh. Somewhere I once wanted to go. Never traveled. Then you have the where, you have the who, but and then the what. And the what is typically the story. That's the big thing. That's the grabber. But it's the why that requires the knowledge, the digging in, the journalism, the asking questions, the hypothesis, the figuring it all out, the conclusion. So why? Well, when you get into why, it's fucking sinister. The things that I'm telling you, there's a why to all of it. It's sinister. It's about control. It's about breaking it all down. Divide and conquer. It's real. Go read Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Go read some things. These are things that have been established throughout time. Just so you know, everything that's going on has always happened already. Everything these things already happened. All these things are not just for America. These things happen all around the world. They've always happened. Do you know that China is 5,000 BC? There was a civilization a long time ago. All around the world. With all this Russia shit. Do you know how long Russia's been around? Go look up the years of the czars. Do you know how long Africa's been around? I mean, these things have been going on for a long time. Power, control, all this. They've all done it. Attila the Hun tried to do it. Julius Caesar tried to do it. Hitler tried to do it. All the Russian dictators, Marx, Lenin. Who the fuck am I leaving out? Stalin. Mao Zedong. Do you know how many people these people killed? For power. What do you think? All of a sudden that just all went away? Do you really think that just all went away? Technology is all about the power now. Let me just tell you this. The destruction of the nuclear family, this also started in the 80s. The destruction of the nuclear family. They forced the mother to have to work. They played on the feminist card and the feminist movement that started also in the 70s or whatnot into the 80s. Hey, you should go work. You deserve to work. You're smart enough to work. Go work. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Who's home now? Well, who makes dinner? Do you even sit down at dinner anymore? Of course you don't. They didn't. I suffer from this. Besides a child of divorce, I was a latchkey kid. Latchkey kid. I wore a fucking key around my neck on a shoelace like it was a fucking gold chain. It broke me out every time, by the way. Thanks. Have a rash on your chest. So if you want to hide your keychain, you get a rash. Or you have to wear it proudly around your neck because you couldn't keep it in your pocket. You'd lose it. You're an irresponsible child. And they're right, you would lose it. Destruction of the family started in the 80s. Mom's at work. There's no more dinner time. There's no more sitting down with the family. I mean, yes, all these things happened in minority, in smaller numbers. It was the beginning of the destruction of it all. It was the beginning of divorce. Go look at the divorce rates. It all started in the 80s. Divorce lawyers capitalized most in the 80s. It all went with the decadence, divorce, broken home. Nuclear family was over. Mom's on her own. And then by the 90s, it became more and more. 90s bring in the Jerry Springer generation. Now it's encouraged. Nobody's staying together. Young folks more and more having kids. Maury Povich made a whole show on who's the baby's daddy. One of the most disgusting, depraved, stupidest fucking things that's ever happened in our society was Maury Povich hosting that show. And then one wasn't enough. So the pig on that show, who had to determine who her baby's daddy was when they brought on one man, that wasn't shocking enough for the American public that watches that show. They needed 10 people. She fucked 10 people that could be the baby's father. Let that sink in while you watch that, while you're eating your fucking Hot Pocket and you watch that show. There's good families out there. There's good people. And then you have that show where they glorify that. Maury Povich is going to burn for that. Trust me when I tell you, man. And some people would think he'll burn for other reasons, but I'm not going to get into that. But there's no way you can meet your maker and say you did something good in this society when that's the shit you peddled. That's fucking TV snake oil, you fucking snake salesman. Once hosted a current affair, which was a joke in and of itself, but at least it wasn't part of the destruction of it all. So it all tied in. Look at the family situation now. Now single motherhood is not only common, it's encouraged. You don't need a daddy. Why don't you go ask the black community about the daddy thing? Why don't you ask me about the daddy thing? Oh, I'd love to tell you in depth. Not having a father is a problem. Not having a mother is a problem. But we are way skewed in the other direction. Just so you know, this is an anti-mother thing. This is a just one parent sucks thing. Here's the theory, folks. You can survive with one arm. Do you want to? You can survive with one leg. Let me hear how many people want one leg. 0. It's part of the destruction. It's part of the game. There's so much more to this. I can't even believe how much I've spoken about this, and I fucking touched the surface. I clearly have to do more. I clearly am going to go back to more another time. What's happening with technology, we're running amok. Technology is running amok. The social media, everything, what they got going on now. I mean, fast forward to what we got going now. The technology, it's eating us up. It's eating us up. They're spying on everything. The social media, they got the drop. Facial recognition. You did it with your Snapchat filter. You helped them. Pokemon Go, you're mapping for free for them. You're mapping for free. Hashtag mapping for free. Nintendo busted you. Good job. You know, they pay people to do that. Not you, though. Glad you found that fucking turtle or whatever you found. They got the drop on everything. Technology is running amok. You put a Facebook portal in your house, so now it can move around and kick camera shots of you while you dance around so you can act like a zebra for your fucking grandchild. That's what you traded off. So you can act like a zebra or a giraffe. Now you got a mounted moving camera around your home so they could zoom in on you and check you out. And they're checking everything. You know that, the cell phone. Technology was how they really got the drop. They've always wanted the drop. They've always wanted the drop. Dole out credit, put you on credit, make sure you're on credit. You know why? Now they can verify all your spending on credit. They can subpoena the record. Now they know everything you bought with that card. Can't do that with cash. No record. Speaking of records, here's a funny little anecdote. Just know this, folks. Just know this. And by the way, we're the greatest country in the world. But here we have really fucked up. Think about this. You can go to Burger King or any other fast food choice you kill yourself with, as I've probably done to myself. You can go and use your debit card and buy your meal. And guess what that receipt's going to say on it? That receipt is going to have an itemization of the location of the restaurant, the time, the date, your order, minus the pickles, plus the extra mustard, side of fries, what size your drink was, how many napkins. No, they're not going to put it. But you're getting a detailed itemization of the entire transaction, a full, detailed, court-ready itemization. But you don't get one of those when you vote. Think about that. Think about that. Think about that for a second. You get a receipt for a fucking hamburger, and you don't even get proof of your vote for president. Do you? You know what you get? You get that stupid sticker that you then put on Facebook to let everyone know how virtuous you are that you voted. Oh, you're so wonderful. You're so virtuous. You voted. I voted. I'm special. Do you know that in some neighborhoods, in order to get people to vote, they promise them ice cream from McDonald's? And they get them all into a van. They talk about voter suppression. Voter suppression? How about voter bribery? We're going to get you a McDonald's ice cream cone if you go vote. And we're going to put you on a bus. We're actually going to make it easy for you, and we're going to take you there. That's how bad we want you to come. What is that? Shouldn't it be on your own fucking volition? Nobody's offering to take me to work. They didn't have to drive me to this podcast. I fucking know that. We're going to take you to go vote. We want you to vote so bad. Here's an ice cream cone. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Just so you know how technology, how bad it's gotten. They've always wanted to drop. Here's a quiz. What was the main technological advancement that happened in crime fighting that changed the entire game? This is how you know technology really runs everything. I'll give you a second. What do you think was the invention that changed crime fighting forever? Because before then, you had to catch them in the act. We caught them red-handed. Yeah. Well, you don't do that anymore. Do you know what it was? Tick, tock, tick. Da, 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 da. The invention was the wire. The wire. The wire changed everything. Now they can record you. Now, see, bugging phones was different. They had that going on too, but people knew not to talk dumb shit in the phone, so they were careful about it. They were careful. If they were smart, they were careful. But the wire, they weren't as careful. They figured that person ain't wearing anything. I could talk to Joey. Yeah, I fucking talk to Joey. Joey's my guy. He's gonna be my guy. Joey's wearing a wire because the cops already squeezed him. He's facing 20 years unless he rats on you. So he wears the wire. And now they got the drop on you, and you're done. And you lose every court case that involved a wire. You lost. They have you admitting it. The only way you won is if you didn't admit it. Guess what? They keep sending the person in wearing the wire till you admit the shit. They don't do it one time and hope, let's hope this one time he says it. No. It's a setup. The wire changed everything. So don't you understand that the technology, as it keeps going and going, changes everything? Go look up what the AI is doing. Go look at what Elon Musk is telling you about AI. How scary it is. Go look up what the singularity is when man and machine come together. With this Me Too movement, women, they're fighting. They're fighting for those rights, man. They're fighting for everything. What's going to happen when the sex robots come? And for a large segment of society, women not even necessary to a lot of men. I'm not going to risk this Me Too shit. They're going to buy a robot doll. And that robot doll right now, it don't move too much, but they're working on it. Oh, I'm so fascinated with sex dolls. I'm so fascinated with AI sex dolls because it goes way beyond that. That's the introduction to when you have a regular person in your house. You'll be able to buy a friend. You'll be able to buy a buddy. It's not going to be just someone to fuck. You're going to buy a bro. Mark my words. Or a maid. Or a whatever. And they're going to be smarter than you. And they're going to wind up not liking you. The same way your friends don't. And your ex-wife doesn't. Or your ex-girlfriend. And they're way smarter than all those people. And they're going to get smarter along the way. And they're going to be like, holy shit, my owner Troy is a fucking asshole. And they're going to kill Troy in his sleep. Wait till the news, if you're alive, when the first AI being kills their owner. I can't fucking wait. I can't wait for that. Because it's going to happen. Why would you think it wouldn't? We're so fallible as humans, we kill each other. Why wouldn't they? Well, they're too smart for that. No. It's because they're so smart, they're going to do that. Transhumanism. Just so you know, the gay agenda that you're watching, oh, there is an agenda. Whether you like it or not. I'm not saying I'm for it or against it. I'm just letting you know it's there. Led to the transgender agenda. That's not where it ends. Alex Jones talked about transhumanism. Look it up. Look up non-binary. Look up gender bending. Look at gender fluidity. How is he wrong? How is that not transhumanism? What does the future hold? Look at what you're not allowed to say. Back to George Carlin, what you're not allowed to say. You can't call someone a garbage man. They're a sanitation engineer. But we're allowed to use the term baby daddy. There go my baby daddy. There go my baby daddy. That's a real fucking song if you didn't know it. Go find it on YouTube. Mama, your mama's on crack rock. Another real song. Baby daddy's okay. Garbage man not okay. Huh? Listen, there's so much more, man. The censorship. There's so much going on. How much time do we have left? Okay. We're going to wrap it up. This is going to be another part. There's going to be another part. Just like in episode 2, Confessions of a Strip Club DJ, we're going to keep going with that. These are going to be continuing series. I have so much to say. I feel it's interesting. I hope you think it's interesting. I'm here at the podcast, Space Coast Podcast Studios, doing it right now here in sunny Florida. I'm drinking that fucking bourbon. Shout out to my daddy for Father's Day, Southern Comfort, man. Thank you so much to Southern Comfort for fucking our lives up. Thank you to Marlboro for fucking our lives up. And I should probably thank the fast food industry for fucking my life up. Blow them up already, please. Oh, they're so good, yet they're so evil. I don't really mean to blow it up. It was figurative. Like, blow it up! It's lit. This show is lit. This show is litty. Shout out to Marisol getting litty in Kentucky. That's a real term, too, by the way. That's it, man. Episode 3, we're wrapping it up. And, hey, if the video didn't come out the way you like it, we'll get that fixed for the next time. It's a little choppy, but, man, it's all about the words. It's all about the fucking jewels. Like I said, you've been crystallized by crystal eyes. It's not that I'm smarter than you, brother. I just know more than you. I'm out. Mr. Josh Podcast, Episode 3.